Well, greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, the John Campea Show, coming to you from right here on my YouTube channel. I am, of course, your host, John Campea, and it is an awesome honor and privilege, as it is every day, to have you, our international friends, gather around as we talk about our favorite things in the world, movies, movie news, TV shows, and streaming, and all sorts of wonderful stuff. And, of course, we're joined today by Kimberly Kern. Kimberly, how you doing?
I'm doing Spiderific. There's only a few days left. I'm so excited.
We are 6 days away from SpiderMan No Way Home, unless you live in China, but we're going to talk about that in just a little bit. Sitting right beside her is the #1 world's biggest fan of the video game awards, Ray, and you got a friend there beside you.
Let's get dirty. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Good to have you guys here. And listen, but can I just take a second before we start the show? This is not an official topic. So last night, I got wild busy last night. There were so many things I was supposed to do yesterday. I was supposed to see West Side Story yesterday. I was supposed to do a companion video yesterday. I was going to watch a little bit of the video game awards. Some things came up, ended up staying home just to watch the whole video game awards and all that kind of stuff. What a waste of time.
Aww.
I don't know if any of you guys watched the video game awards, the game awards. It's gotten pretty bad. It's gotten pretty bad. Like, at least a couple of years ago, there was these big, high-profile games. Like, it came down to Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War, and who was going to take the big award. They were winning all the awards, and then God of War won. Last year, Last of Us 2 set a bunch of records. This year, there was no real kind of big, high-profile game. But more than that, it is called, correct me if I'm wrong, Ray, it is called the Game Awards,
It is called the Game Award.
That is the name of it, right?
It is.
Game Awards.
The last time I checked it was.
So, look, I get it that a lot of people, including me, will tune in because one of the big reasons I tune in is to see the previews of all the big games coming out this year. By the way, nothing really turned my crank a lot.
Not even the Star Wars one?
The Star Wars one a little bit, but it didn't even give me, okay, I don't even know what genre the game is.
I mean,
I just saw, it's like, okay, cool, if this was a movie, maybe. But there's nothing really that gets super, super excited about. And that's fine, whatever. But I remember thinking to myself, this is called the Game Awards, right? There was literally a stretch of 27 minutes where they didn't give out a single award. There was literally a stretch of 27 minutes where they straight up, here's paid promotion from another video game. Here's another video game that paid us to promote them here. Here's another video game that paid us to promote them here. And I get it. That's one of the reasons why I watch. But it was 27 minutes straight. And then this is what they did.
Uh-oh.
Then, instead of going, all right, now let's move on to the next big category here with so-and-so, and then they announce all the individual, you know what they did? And I think it was for a role-playing game. They took like 4 categories in a row where the host of the show is like, all right, so we're looking forward to that game coming. All right, now let's hand out some awards. The nominees for best role-playing game are, and then he didn't even name them. Just a graphic came up of the 5 nominees. He just goes, the nominees for best role-playing game are, and the winner is, blur. And now the next category, the nominees for this category are, and just a graphic pops up, doesn't say anything, and the winner is, boom. And then he literally ripped through like 4 categories in 45 seconds.
Oh.
27 minutes of commercials. And a lot of us tune in for those commercials.
Like you didn't like it, John.
Like 27 minutes of commercials.
It was a little disrespectful, I think.
It was massively disrespectful.
During a pandemic and these people like struggle to actually bring a game out. And then, like, yeah, they get an award and they're recognizing that second. But I think it should have been a little bit more than just like a sidebar that I could create and highlight, and then that's it. You know what I mean?
I mean, literally, it was.
They didn't even show previews of the game or show it, because some of those games I've never heard of. It'd be great to see a little, maybe a little screenshot, a little running video when they announce them, something like that, because there were a couple games that we discovered last night.
What's that one you and Ann loved?
It Takes Two.
No. Well, there's It Takes Two, which won game of the year.
Oh, the other
Ann
one.
And I instantly bought it, but one of the ones they were showing was about this little girl running around an island.
Tachia,
or something like that.
That
and like the whole
too.
time is like, she's so cute. Like, so It Takes Two won game of the year. I never even heard of It Takes Two, to be honest with you. And so we were watching all this kind of stuff. So after the Game Awards were done, we downloaded all sorts of trailers, and then Ann and I instantly bought the game right on the spot. So all that is good. I'm just saying 27 minutes of paid commercials, 45 seconds of 4 categories. Out of the 3 hour and 10 minute runtime of this thing, Rick, tell me if you think I'm exaggerating this. Out of 3 hours and 10 minutes of runtime, I think maybe 20 minutes were about the games they were honoring this year. I think maybe 20 minutes was actually about the Game Awards.
It's so bad I'm at the point of thinking there's a Grubhub game coming out.
Oh yeah, there was that. Okay, now we're gonna see how this game integrates with Grubhub.
I was like, is there a Grubhub game coming out? That would be like Paperboy, like throwing the food.
And you know what's funny? I will get shit from some people. Yeah, not many people. Actually, the vast majority of them don't. But every once in a while, I get shit from somebody because we have sponsors now in our show. Thank God for our sponsors. We'll have sponsors, and I'll do in our 2.5 hour show, I'll do a 1.5 minute segment spot, and people will complain about that. The Video Game Awards, 3 hour and 10 minute show, maybe 20 minutes of it was about Game Awards. Anyway,
but without that, the games would have nothing. So I mean, I hope it gets better. It acknowledges games more in the future, but without that, then there'll be no awards given out. So.
I mean, listen, I'm all for them showing the spots. I love that. But, maybe make it 50-50. Maybe devote half of the Game Awards to the Game Awards.
It was a very awkward show to begin with.
It was a very
There's
awkward
a lot of
show,
moments there where like he was interviewing maybe someone who was about to announce something, and it was just really, really awkward.
And then they had this category called Most Anticipated Game. How the hell is that an award? and
That's an award?
The Most Anticipated Game Award went to the same game 2 years in a row that has still yet to come out.
You know what they should have then? They should have the biggest bust award. Meaning, waiting so long for a game and it ends up being bad. If they're going to do it that way, then do it.
All right, guys. Enough of me complaining about the Game Awards last night. I was really looking forward to it. Anyway, but hey, at least I discovered It Takes Two.
Yeah, It Takes Two.
At least I discovered It Takes Two.
And don't even talk about the Halo teaser.
And, just the Halo 2 thing was so disappointing. Anyway, the Halo teaser. But anyway, here's how today's show's going to go, guys. After I finish crying and moaning and bitching about the Game Awards, we're going to talk about some real stuff here. We're going to start off today's show in the first half by talking about some predetermined topics. And then in the second half of the show, we're going to take your questions. Now, we're not going to take live comments today because yesterday we only had time for live comments and we didn't get to any of the questions. So today we're just going to go all questions today. So if you sent in those questions, get ready. You're about to see them answered. Anyway, with that down, let's talk a couple of off the tops here, shall we? And our first off the top is this. One of the movies that I really enjoyed, the more I think about it, the more I appreciate the good things about it, was Marvel's Eternals. It is a movie that has issues. And it is definitely not, there was whispers going around. We talked about a lot on the show that the people at Disney believe this is the best movie Marvel ever made, like before it came out.
I remember that.
And while I respect if there are people at Disney that believe this is the best movie Marvel ever made, that's great. I do not agree, but that's great that they felt that way. And I liked it. I did. It had some issues, but I liked it. It expanded the universe. It was a absolute, I don't think there's any doubt out of all the Marvel MCU films, there is nothing more unique than the Eternals.
Oh, absolutely.
It was so different from everything they've ever done. It by far the most unique thing they've done. At any rate, not everybody had a chance to run out and see in theaters. But if you've got Disney Plus where you live, you will soon. It's now coming to us from Variety that Marvel's The Eternals is about to go to Disney Plus, I believe, on January 12th, I think it is. Let's go down and take a look at this. This comes to us from Eternals, or from Variety, who writes, Eternals, the most recent chapter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, will soon be available to watch from the comfort of your own home. The superhero film will land on Disney Plus in just over a month on January 12th. Disney made the announcement on Friday, just 1 week ahead of the theatrical release of SpiderMan No Way Home. The next highly anticipated MCU film, Eternals, will be available with an IMAX enhanced expanded aspect ratio like 13 other MCU films on Disney Plus. And I think this is great because I honestly really believe, well, definitely not the best Marvel movie, not even the best Marvel movie of the year, that goes to Shang-Chi, but I believe this is an important Marvel movie. I believe this is the most unique of the Marvel movies. And it is a Marvel movie that changes our idea of what stakes are. Because again, I'm just having a little bit of a hard time caring if Hawkeye finds the Rolex wristwatch when Arashem the Judge just appeared over Earth and saying, I'm coming back for judgment. Who the hell cares about a Rolex at this point? But again, it is very unique on that level. I'm looking forward to people seeing it. You know, Kim, you've had a chance to sit with and kind of marinate on Eternals now for a while. It's been a bit since you've seen it. You know, when you think of Eternals now, how do you think of it? And what do you think about the release date coming up here in January?
Definitely the most unique. I think when we first saw the trailer and there was a lot of criticism for it, I made the comment that it's kind of like for Marvel fans, like when you're in college and you start drinking, you find your beers that you like and your mixed drinks. But then when you get into your, late 20s, 30s, you start drinking wine. And you start, enjoying fine wines and the notes and the hints and the aromas. And I felt like from the trailer, you know what, for Marvel fans, this is going to be like graduating from, your Jaeger bombs to like a good cab. And that's really how I feel about the Eternals. It's not for everyone. It definitely was a bit polarizing. Some people, the things they said about it, I was like, oh, come on. It ain't that bad. I couldn't believe how some people didn't like it that much, but I get it. It's not your typical formula for a Marvel film that we're used to, because admit it, we have had kind of the same formula for over 10 years. And then you have this. I only saw it once. I had planned to see it twice in the theaters. I didn't get a chance to. So I'm looking forward to pouring myself a nice rosé and watching it again.
Yeah, and soon everyone else will too. Question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Eternals is coming to Disney Plus a little bit sooner than I thought, actually. January 12th. I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching it again, maybe take it in from a new perspective. What about you guys? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's do another off the top, and that is this. When you're talking about the biggest franchises, and this has come up recently, when you're talking about the biggest, maybe even most important franchises in film history, obviously Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Godfather, James Bond, you can't have that discussion, though, without including Harry Potter. Harry Potter was a cultural phenomenon, unlike many other things we've seen in the world of entertainment in a long time. It burst on scene number one. It's like a number one best-selling book series that then successfully translated into a number one film series all at the same time. I am not a massive Potterhead. Mm-hmm. I've acknowledged that. My wife is. I am not personally a massive Potterhead. That being said, I am somebody who appreciates the Harry Potter movies. I thought they got better and better as they went along. It's funny, though. Almost everybody's favorite Harry Potter movie, the third one, Prisoner of Azkaban, is my least favorite one.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I actually had some big issues with it, but I'm rare in that. But I really thought it just kept getting like better and better as it went, and then by the time it ended, which was the Deathly Hallows Part 2, I was like, they ended that franchise really well, and they brought it home. So of course, then we moved into Fantastic Beasts, and the first one wasn't met with all the love that Harry Potter fans tend to give things.
No,
I thought it was pretty darn good. Then came The Crimes of Grindelwald. I almost said Dumbledore. The Crimes of Grindelwald, which I liked more than most people. I actually quite enjoyed Crimes of Grindelwald. I actually thought Johnny Depp was great in that. I really liked him in that. And I actually went to a really early screening of it at the IMAX corporate head offices with our buddy Cody Miller, Olympic gold medalist Cody Miller. Literally, I got on Facebook one day and I said, hey, I've got an invite to go to a private screening at the IMAX headquarters for anybody else. And Anne's out of town. Anne was, I believe, in Hong Kong at the time. Anne's out of town. Anybody want to go? And I literally got an email from my buddy Cody, again, Olympic gold medalist in Indiana, saying, I will fly out there tomorrow to come to this thing with you. You understand, Cody and his wife, Allie, they literally had a Harry Potter themed wedding.
Oh
They
my
did.
god!
And he has over like 100 and something Harry Potter pops and all this. Like they're Harry
Major
Potter
Potterhead.
fanatics, right?
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, if you want to do that, sure enough, 2 hours later, he was on a plane, like flying into LA.
Oh my
So then we go see it. They gave us wands and all this kind of stuff. But both of us came out, I was like, I really like that. I know some people had some issues with it. It's fine. But it has not been as popular nearly as the main Harry Potter things. And of course, there's been some controversy surrounding Johnny Depp is out. But you've got arguably a better actor with Mads Mikkelsen. Like, if you're going to look, I thought Johnny Depp was great as Grindelwald. I did.
Yeah.
But if you got to replace him, Mads Mikkelsen ain't a bad replacement.
I can't wait to see what he
So
brings.
now Mads Mikkelsen's in it. But when we're going to get a first look? There was delay. When we're going to get our first look? Well, we've gotten our first look. So today, Warner Brothers put out this 2-minute and 12-second video that is essentially a teaser for a full trailer that's coming Monday. And you say, John, if it's 2 minutes, how's it a teaser? Well, because they only showed about maybe 15 seconds from what's going to be in the trailer, but it was intercut with Harry Potter footage, with narration and fans and all this kind of stuff, really highlighting again just how special and important the Harry Potter world is to the fans. I'm just going to fast forward through this a little bit. Like, they show a bunch of stuff, and they're showing us the fandom, and the narration on this was all beautiful. This was setting up about, let's remember how special Harry Potter is and the world of Harry Potter. And now we get to go back to it. And then they fast forward, we go near the end, and they actually now show us stuff from the trailer coming up. And of course, it's called Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. The Secrets of Dumbledore. There it is. The Secrets of Dumbledore. And normally I don't care about trailers for trailers. I don't care about, come see the 15-second teaser of the full trailer that comes on Tuesday. Like, I normally don't care about that. But this whole little 2-minute presentation was actually pretty sweet. It was actually kind of nice. You had a chance to take a look. Did you like what you saw?
Yeah, I liked it. It made me really excited. Like I said, I saw Harry Potter when they came out when I was a kid, but then I did a rewatch about 2 months ago of all of them on HBO, and I was like, oh yeah, I do love this. But Fantastic Beasts, especially with that huge gap that we had with the pandemic, the excitement and the steam from it definitely wore off. So I thought it was really smart for them to just go back to the beginning and just give everyone a refresher of, remember why you love us. And now we're continuing the story and broadening this world. I'm really, really excited for it. I love Fantastic Beasts. I gotta say, I'm not really super interested and ingrained in the story. For me, it's just visuals. The visuals are so incredible and beautiful, and all the different beasts and animals and spirits. It's very interesting to me. I'm excited. And I love, love, love Mads Mikkelsen. Did you see Another Round, by the way?
No.
Oh,
That's the Danish? Is it Danish?
Yeah.
No, I never did watch it yet. No.
Oh man, that made me really excited. Not that Johnny Depp got replaced, but really excited to see him in Fantastic Beasts. So I'm thrilled. I just bringing it back, and you got the 20th anniversary coming up, so perfect timing for the trailer. So yeah, let's do it.
Ray, I know you didn't even watch the first two Fantastic Beasts, but that makes you uniquely qualified to answer this question. As somebody who didn't even watch the first Fantastic Beasts movies, you saw this little teaser thing. What did you think of? Did it make you interested in it? What did you think about it?
The Fantastic Beasts, the trailers, the creatures have always looked cool to me. It's just like I was saying before the show, after the last Harry Potter, it's just gonna take me a while for me to get back into that world. But if you ask me, yeah, it looks like it's a good teaser.
I'll tell you what, I have not been excited about that. I've liked the first two Fantastic Beasts films. I haven't felt any excitement for this third one. This little teaser kind of got me excited, and I'm actually really looking forward to the trailer on Monday now. Anyway, guys, the question is for you. What do you think about this little promo that they put out for Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore? Yeah, just a little bit of footage for the trailer coming Monday, but they kind of celebrated the whole world of Harry Potter fandom. What did you think about it? Do you like it? I gotta say, I was actually pretty impressed by it. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. Before we go any further, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, the good folks over at Raycon. Again, once again, you know what I did before the show. I was on the treadmill going over my notes in here in the house, last minute note changes before the show, pop in my Raycons. They are perfect for how I use them. That, my late night walks, all that kind of stuff. I got these things after I lost one of my other earbuds, one of the earbuds to my pair of one of the higher profile earbud bands. Took these things out of the case, popped them in. They instantly paired. They're comfortable. They got a built-in mic so I can make calls on them. They sound really quite good. And on top of all that, compared to the other major earbud brands, they're about half the price of them, which is one of the reasons why I think they're going to make great stocking stuffers. Speaking of which, as stocking stuffers, the holidays are coming up faster than you guys think, and now is the time to knock that gift list out and avoid last-minute shopping scrambles, especially for our viewers and listeners. You guys will get 15% off if right now you go over to buyraycon.com/Campea. Once again, that's buyraycon.com/Campea. Pick up your set of Raycons, and here's the best news. You guys who are viewers of the show get 15% off. So once again, head on over to buyraycon.com/Campea. And once again, we thank Raycon for sponsoring this video. Okay, guys. With all that down, let's move on to our main topics today, shall we? And how do we select our main topics here on the John Campea Show? Well, it's really simple. You see, you guys come up with them. Whenever you come across a big topic, issue, or story that you guys feel we need to cover as a main topic on the show, just go anytime 24/7 over to www.thejohncampeashow.com/contact. Once you guys get there, you're going to see a form. Fill it out with your topic or question. It's absolutely free. Hit submit, and then maybe, just maybe, you might see your submission featured as a main topic here on the John Campea Show. With that down, Kim, what is our first main topic today?
All right, guys, this is coming from Alexis Peterson. Hello, Team Campea and crew. Just saw a post that Jason Momoa stated that the sequel to Aquaman has wrapped shooting. This makes me so excited because I really like the first one. What are your thoughts on this? And are you just as pumped as I am to see what this movie had to bring to the table? Thanks, and keep up the awesome work.
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Alexis. And yeah, look, I got to tell you, I knew that Aquaman, the first Aquaman movie, was going to be successful. I told everybody, this movie is going to be successful. It's going to do. A lot of people didn't think it would be. But then some people started asking me, John, do you think the movie can make like $800 million? I'm like, whoa, pump your brakes. Pump the brake. I think it's going to be successful. I think it's going to be good. I love Jason Momoa. I think it's going to be good. This movie is not going to make $800 million. And I was right. It didn't. It made $1 billion. So, I mean, it so exceeded the studio's expectations, everything. And you know what? Good for it, because it's a delightful, fun movie. Jason Momoa was great. Morrison was, Boba Fett as his dad was great. Nicole Kidman as his mom. That was great. I just thought the whole movie was solid. It was fun. Did I think it was as good as the first Wonder Woman movie? No, I don't think it was as good as first Wonder Woman. I don't think it's as good as Man of Steel. But it was really quite fun, and I had a really good time watching it, and we all knew, especially with it being the first DCEU film to make $1 billion, we all knew another one was coming. And of course, there were some bumps along the way trying to get this thing done, but they got shooting, and they finished it. This comes to us from the folks over at Screen Rant who write, Jason Momoa confirms that, at long last, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom has officially wrapped shooting. Though the first Aquaman was a box office smash when it first premiered in 2018, its sequel has taken a considerable amount of time to get going. Currently scheduled to premiere in December of 2022, so about a year from now. The latest DCEU installment, centered on Momoa's Arthur Curry, started production this past summer in London under the direction of James Wan, returning from the first installment. Now, of course, this is not a movie that took 6 months to shoot. This is obviously was hampered a lot by the COVID protocols and all that kind of stuff, and it took them longer than they thought. Apparently, Jason Momoa took some pretty big bumps and bruises as well along the way in making the movie. He was injured a couple of times making it, but the damn thing shot. Now, it should be pointed out that at some time in the next month or two, we are going to hear that Aquaman is going in for reshoots, because that pretty much happens on every big blockbuster movie now. Like it used to be back in the day, back in the olden times, you hardly ever heard of reshoots because reshoots meant money. And a movie has already spent its budget by the time the movie's done shooting. That all changed with Marvel and the MCU. Kevin Feige started to plan, schedule, and budget for reshoots for every one of the movies. So that when they started to get better ideas in the editing room, they already had everything set aside to go and shoot some more stuff or reshoot some things once they had better ideas. So then other big blockbusters started to budget for that as well. I think we're going to hear that with this. The important thing, though, is they got through all the principal photography. It changes Aquaman from a theoretical movie that could be coming at some point to the tangibilization. This is a real movie now and it's coming. And I'll tell you what, even though there are still reshoots to do, and even though there's still a lot of post-production to do, I think we're going to hear this movie gets moved up.
Really?
And I'll tell you the biggest argument why it won't. Here's the biggest argument why they won't move it up is because they released Aquaman 1 in December, and that movie went on to make $1 billion. Now, granted, it didn't have the biggest opening in the world. I think it is, Ray, maybe you can look it up, the opening weekend box office. I think it was around 85 million or something like that. Like, I don't even think it was a $100 million opening weekend.
For Aquaman?
For Aquaman, yeah, the first Aquaman. I don't even, if I'm remembering it right, I don't even think it was a $100 million opening weekend. So it's not like that weekend was great for it. But the timing of it was good, and it ended up making over $1 billion. And that's why that is the strongest argument for them keeping it right where it is in December of 2022. But I do kind of have a feeling that they are going to bump this up. I'm not going to be, let's just say this. I'm not going to be shocked to hear that this thing is going to end up getting an August release.
Oh, really?
I'm not saying I have any insider information on that, none whatsoever. And again, December works great for it, so there's a real strong argument for it staying. I'm just saying I've got a feeling that maybe it's going to get nudged over to that. Ray, you got a number for us?
Domestic opening says 67,873,000.
Yeah, so 60-something, less than Shang-Chi.
Whoa.
But it had legs. Then again, Avatar, the number one all-time box office movie in the world, only opened to about 70-something million dollars too. Then look how good, it's all about the legs. It's all about legs, baby. And do you got them? Aquaman had them. They're counting on it will again. So this is exciting for me to hear. I'm thinking maybe it comes out in August. Anyway, the question is for you guys. What do you think about this? Jason Momoa has let the world know that Aquaman 2 is now done filming after all the delays and after all the protocols they had to go through. How are you guys feeling about that? Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 2. Kim, what is our second main topic today?
All right, Rogue 3 says, what is your anticipation level for Book of Boba Fett? I'm not feeling it. For one thing, a bald, unmasked, 60-year-old Tamora Morrison just doesn't feel like the same character that we met in Empire and Jedi. Every time I see a promo or production photo of Morrison in character for this, I'm just not making the connection back to the enigmatic masked man of the classic films. I also feel like The Mandalorian has already been doing a Boba Fett kind of shtick quite well for a couple of seasons now, and maybe we don't need a second show covering that ground. I wish I could psych myself up more for it a bit, but so far it all looks pretty meh.
All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, Rogue 3. And look, I'm going to tell you what. I agree with you and I disagree with you. Here's where I agree with you. And as psyched as hell as I am for Book of Boba Fett, and I'm getting really excited about it, it's in 19 days. 19 days. I believe it's 19 days that we are away from, because I believe it debuts on the 29th. So 19 days, 2.5 weeks away from Book of Boba Fett, and I'm completely stoked. I'm absolutely excited for it. But Rogue 3 isn't wrong. I'm not feeling the excitement from other people. And I don't know if that is just a symptom of the fact that we've got an elephant-sized Spider-Man in the room right now. That is coming out before Book of Boba Fett and is kind of gathering up everybody's enthusiasm and attention right now. Everybody's thinking Spider-Man No Way Home. Understandably so. It's the biggest movie event we've had in over 2 years. So I get it. I do. But even that being said, and by the way, I don't think Book of Boba Fett is the only thing Spider-Man's stealing thunder from. I think a lot more people would be talking a lot more often about Hawkeye if it wasn't for the fact that we had Spider-Man coming. Like, I think it's taking up, it is an attention black hole right now, sucking up a lot of the attention.
Totally.
And good for them. Like, totally good for them. So I'm sure that's part of it. But even then, like, even before all the hype for Boba Fett started really ramping up, I did not feel like the enthusiasm ball really started rolling for Spider-Man, I think, about 2 months ago. I mean, obviously, everybody's always been excited for it, but you really got that enthusiasm momentum going about 2 months ago. Even before that, I never felt from the general audience like a lot of excitement for Boba Fett. But I will stand here and tell you I am. And I think we should be. Because when he showed up, here's what they did. Was I interested in a Boba Fett anything, particularly a Boba Fett with his mask off, before Mandalorian Season 2? No, I wasn't. I don't need to demystify Boba Fett.
Right,
Part of what makes Boba Fett so cool is the mystery, that we know nothing, all that kind of stuff. That is part of his appeal. 2020 John Campea would tell you. That's part of his appeal. But I'll be damned, they found a way in Mandalorian Season 2 to kind of recreate Boba Fett. And they had Tamora take the mask off. And that voice. And that episode with the child on the rock and they come and kidnap the child, the one where Boba Fett just fucking wrecked fools. Was coming up with all kinds of creative ways to murder people, to cancel the subscriptions to life for a lot of those. Like, that was awesome. I remember bouncing up and down in my chair, and just even as the series progressed, he managed to bring an even more menacing presence to this character than I even think he ever had in the original Star Wars movies. And I have fallen in love with it. And this whole notion now about looking at him now saying, look, I was a straight up bounty hunter. I've done that enough. I'm the man. I'm not the man's guy. I'm the man. And he goes, he takes out Bib Fortuna. It was so great seeing Bib Fortuna. Takes out Bib Fortuna. He said, I'm taking over this underworld. And who's going to stop me? Oh, you want to try? Let's have some fun. And then we got the Book of Boba Fett. Ming-Na one looks great. So I'll tell you what, I agree with you, Rogue One. I'm not feeling the excitement from a lot of people, even though I'm feeling it. But I disagree in whether or not we should be feeling excitement, because I see nothing but positives in this. I think Tamora Morrison, I don't care if this guy's 80. I don't care if this is Clint Eastwood. Like, he carries that power and that presence. Like, if he was so old that when he's standing in a room, I don't feel that dread, then that would affect it. Tamora Morrison standing there with that stone cold look on his face and that voice, I'm shitting my pants. He's the man. So, yeah, I get you, Rogue One, and I agree. I'm not sensing a lot of thing for it. Yes, a part of that is probably the Spider-Man thing. I wonder, once Spider-Man opens and has been open for a couple of days, if we'll start to see a snowball of excitement for Book of Boba Fett or not. I don't know that we will, but damn it, I think we should be excited, because I am. Kim, where's your excitement level for Book of Boba Fett right now?
You ever see a toddler when you give them something they really, really want, or they're anticipating something and they're so excited, they don't scream, they don't say anything, they just go,
yeah.
And they shake. They just shake. That's how excited they are. All of my energy is put into Spider-Man right now. I am that toddler going, so give me 6 days and then ask me how excited I am, because I am exhausted with excitement from Spider-Man. I truly am. But I do care about Boba Fett. I love seeing the world of Star Wars expand, and I'm really excited for this series. Mandalorian blew me away. The storytelling was so good. I honestly, none of the Star Wars movies I cried. None of them, not one. I really will not lie, shed some tears. Like Mandalorian it did something to me, to my heart. It just really got to me. And so I'm really excited for Boba Fett, but I'm exhausted with excitement. I can only be so excited with one thing at a time.
And maybe
Ask
we're
me in
sensing
7
that.
days and I will probably have new energy to go at Boba Fett.
And maybe
So-
maybe that's what the thing is for a lot of people.
Yeah,
It's
I
it's
think that's it.
We've only got so much enthusiasm and passion.
Yeah.
And it can only be divided up so many ways. And maybe it's a Spider-Man thing, maybe it's not. I'm looking forward to this. Question is for you guys. How are you feeling about Book of Boba Fett right now? Maybe you haven't been giving it any thought. Maybe you're focusing on other things. Maybe you're actually not even a big fan of Mandalorian. Who knows? Whatever you guys are feeling right now, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. Kim, what is our third main topic today?
This comes from Crashing Coyote. Hey guys, I was just watching the Game Awards and Ben Schwartz came out on stage and introduced the first trailer for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The trailer shows more of Jim Carrey as Robotnik and the first look at Knuckles being voiced by Idris Elba. What do you think of the trailer?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in Crashing Coyote. And I think it's safe to say, other than Imagine Dragons coming on stage to play the opening theme song for Arcane, my enemy, that was the best part of the Game Awards. But other than that part, the best part of the Game Awards was when they showed the Sonic 2 trailer. Now look, Sonic was a movie that I didn't have a lot of belief in. I thought it looked okay. And I certainly didn't think the movie was great, but I liked it. It was a charming little film. And I keep forgetting the name of Cyclops again. Marsden?
James Marsden.
It is James Marsden. Okay.
Cyclops.
James Cyclops Boy.
Forever no.
He will always just be Cyclops Boy. Forever James Marsden is relegated to being Cyclops Boy. So James Marsden, along with John Ralphio, and that's what he's always going to be. Schwartz is always just going to be John Ralphio. You're the worst. And John Ralphio, and of course you have Idris Elba in there, but I mean Jim Carrey.
Tika Sumpter, yeah.
But Jim Carrey stole that movie. Listen, and I'm not saying that as if Marsden and Schwartz didn't work. They did. But there's the backbone of that movie is this great back and forth buddy dynamic stuff going on between Sonic and James Marsden's character. It was great. Again, the elevator scene with Sonic in the bag saying, "I'm not their kid. No, this isn't our kid." It's like, wait, that is like one of the funnier moments I've seen in films in a long time. That was all great. And I honestly, when I heard that good Canadian kid Jim Carrey signed up for Sonic the Hedgehog, I thought, oh, how the mighty have fallen. Is this really, Jim? You got to resort to being in Sonic? Really? And then I watched him in Sonic, and I'm like, this is vintage Jim Carrey. This is Jim Carrey, not at the 100% height of his powers, but like right up there. And he stole every scene he was in. And then when the ending happened and all kind of stuff with him on the other world, I'm like, oh God, they got to run this back. They got to run this back and do it again. So we've been waiting for this trailer. I loved it. I loved it. I loved this trailer. It was everything this trailer should be. It was everything a Sonic 2 trailer should be. Lots of emphasis on Robotnik now back with the more iconic shaved head, huge mustache look.
The mustache when
Mustache.
he turned around and it was so huge.
I'm back and I
That
got
was
the stash or
hilarious.
whatever it is he said. I thought that looked really, really good. Then, of course, the Knuckles reveal. What makes you think I need your power? It's like, okay,
Ooh, Knuckles,
Uh-oh.
baby.
Knuckles.
It's time to get serious.
That looked great. And then you got Tails, and the fans of the original video game got very excited when they announced that it was the woman who did the voice of Tails in the
love
games
that.
is coming back to do the voice of Tails. I don't personally think that's important, but I'm not a guy who played a lot of the original game, and for a lot of people who did, they got excited, and that's great to see. So I'll tell you what, is this the best trailer I have seen this year? No. But is this an almost perfect trailer for a Sonic 2? Yeah, they nailed exactly what this trailer should be. And to me, it was the highlight of the Game
Especially for
Awards.
those who love the first one. It was a great
Yes.
trailer. It just continued your, I'm going to watch this too. I'm going to watch the second part too.
But as somebody who watched the Game Awards, okay, I'm saying I think it was the best part of the Game Awards. Do you agree?
What did you think of the Matrix though? The little thing that they showed. I thought it was beautiful actually.
It was good. The Matrix
the colors
was
in
good.
that were fantastic, but
But the Matrix was definitely a highlight of it. But I still think the Sonic 2 trailer.
It was the best trailer of the show.
Yeah, I thought still. What do you think about it, Kim?
Of the trailer, oh my gosh, when Jim Carrey turned around with that mustache,
Oh my God.
I was done. I was like, I'm here for Jim Carrey. But I love that it's cute. I love when things are cute and exciting. And Sonic, to me, he's just so freaking adorable, and he's so funny and cute. He reminds me of a kid around the age of like 8 or 9 when they really start understanding humor and sarcasm. And that's like my favorite age. And so I'm really excited for it. I thought it was good. And I can't wait to see Sonic interact with other beings that are like him. Because one of the precious things that I thought was like the undertone of the first one was like kind of like adoption, like how beautiful adoption is.
Yes.
And how this creature is like, he's not part of us, but you know what? You're our family and you're ours. And so I'm excited to see him interact with his own kind and how that goes with Tails. And
of course, the post credit in the first one kind of hinted that all this is coming.
Yeah.
So they did that when they followed it up. So anyway, guys, what do you think about the Sonic 2 trailer? I thought it was almost perfect for what I thought it was a delightful little trailer, and I'm looking forward to seeing this movie. However you guys felt about it, jump down to the comment section below and leave your thoughts there. Okay, guys, with that down, let's move on to main topic number 4. Kim, what is our 4th main topic today?
all right, so Nicholas says, despite the upcoming release of Spider-Man No Way Home breaking pre-ticket sales, there's been a recent report by The Hollywood Reporter that No Way Home may not get a China release after all. Do you think that might prevent No Way Home from reaching the $1 billion mark, or can it still succeed without China's help?
All right, thanks a lot for saying that in, Nicholas. And yeah, look, one of the big questions, not just surrounding Spider-Man, but that has been surrounding a lot of the movies lately, has been, will X movie get a China release? China is, forget everything else, China is the second biggest movie market in the world. I mean, in just pure population, it's the biggest movie market in the world, but in terms of moviegoers, it's the second biggest movie market in the world. You cannot become one of the highest grossing films of all time without having a China release. You just can't. There's just not enough to go around. And so that's one of the reasons why, like a film like Shang-Chi, while it did really good domestically and while it's done really good in a lot of the markets that it played, it never got a China release.
Yeah.
And that is $300, $400 million left on the table, potentially, maybe more, left on the table. Now, it's not that there haven't been any films this year that haven't gone to China. Some have. Most of them have been smaller independent films, but a lot has. But it's starting to look like Spider-Man is going to be the latest one that is probably not going to get a China release. This comes to us from the folks over at the Hollywood Reporter who write the following. With diplomatic tensions between Beijing and Washington at a nadir, Hollywood's China business lines are hitting fresh lows. U.S. film imports are now at their lowest levels in a generation, and various major studio features, including popular superhero titles Spider-Man No Way Home and Venom Let There Be Carnage from Marvel, Sony, still have no release dates. Their chances of getting the green light are becoming slimmer by the day as the year winds down, analysts say. And just to make it even worse, just to make this situation even worse, they are saying that, of course, that they're looking at, the American Olympic team is looking at possibly boycotting the upcoming Winter Olympics. That's only going to make things more tense. And probably less. There are roughly half of the amount of American films have been able to release in China compared to like 2019. Half this year. And it's only getting smaller. Now, the question becomes, what becomes the upper ceiling limit of how big can Spider-Man No Way Home be? Now, this is going to be the same question for other films as well.
Sure.
But right now, the movie in front of us is Spider-Man No Way Home. And if Spider-Man No Way Home isn't going to be able to screen in China, well, I'm going to tell you right now, my one-time prediction that this movie can hit 1.5 billion. Oh no, forget it. No chance. No chance. This movie cannot hit 1.5 billion without China. And for those, I've heard some people saying it can still make $1 billion just domestically. Little trivia for you. Do you know how many? And you can count it on one hand, but do you know how many movies in history have made $1 billion domestically? Either of you guys want to venture a guess? How many movies have made $1 billion domestically?
2.
So Kim's going to say 2, Ray?
1.
All right. The answer was, it's a little bit of a trick question. My one hand is going to hold up no fingers. None. 0. Some guys in the live chat got it. 0. No films have ever made $1 billion domestically. The number one domestic film of all time is Star Wars: The Force Awakens, as far as I know. But it's whatever. They didn't make $1 billion. It didn't make $1 billion. So I don't know, especially in a pandemic era, that Spider-Man's going to do anywhere near $1 billion domestically. But hey, it could still do huge business, billion plus with China. But with China off the board, you instantly take whatever your guess was and minus $300, $400, $500 million off its potential tally. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And while a lot of people who are always experts about other people's money think, well, we shouldn't care if it plays in China. Well, only people who have no vested interest in it would maybe say that.
Try being an investor and
yeah, you
like
try to be an
that.
investor and saying
me?
it doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, it's not your money. So it's easy for you to say what other people should do with their money. But the reality is this is going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot. Now, is Spider-Man still going to be successful? 100%.
Oh,
100% it's still going to be successful. I have no doubt about that. It's still going to make its money. But here's the thing. For the last number of years, studios have not just relied on these movies like Spider-Man to make enormous box office just so that movie could make a ton of money. It is that excess of money that these movies make that finance the smaller movies that get made, that finance the smaller not independent, but the smaller budgeted, the mid-level budget, the smaller budget. Paramount, Warner Brothers, a number of studios have their own independent arms as well. And where do you think the money for those to get made comes from? It comes from the bigger successes. So yeah, it's one thing to say, it is a myopic and short-sighted statement to say, well, who cares how much Spider-Man makes as long as it makes its money back? That is a short-sighted point of view. It's the money. It's what happens with the money that movies like Spider-Man make and what do they go on to finance later. And this could be a big deal for a movie like Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, look, in a total pragmatic world, how much does it affect me if Spider-Man plays in Beijing? None. It ain't going to affect my screening Thursday night at the Chinese theater. Well,
unless we made a
no
worldwide
pun intended.
bet.
No pun intended. At the Chinese theater in Hollywood on Thursday night. I'm still going to go and it's still going to play for me. It doesn't affect me one bit. But yeah, business-wise, industry-wise, this is serious. And Spider-Man's not going to be the last movie that gets hit with this. Now, it should be important to note right now that it is not official. It's not official that Spider-Man is not getting a Chinese release. That's not, there's still a crack of possibility that it could get it. But again, going back to that comment and that statement right near the end, their chances of getting the green light are becoming slimmer by the day as the year winds down, analysts say. So the longer we go without it getting a release date, the less and less of a chance it's going to have to get it. So let me throw it over to you guys. Ray and Kim, let's start with $1 billion. Prior, a week or two ago, Spider-Man No Way Home joining the $1 billion club was an automatic. Is it still an automatic? Ray, what do you think? Is Spider-Man, without playing in China, is it still an automatic that Spider-Man No Way Home gets to $1 billion?
No.
Ray's going to say no.
No, I just don't think it could without, being played in China.
What about you, Kim? Do you think it's an automatic?
Oh gosh. It's not gonna do it. It's not gonna do it. Homecoming brought in, I think in China, Homecoming brought in 70 million from China, and Far From Home brought in 90. Take that off the table? Are you kidding me? That's so disappointing.
I'll tell you
I'm
what.
so bummed.
I still,
mean, it's gonna do great here.
It's going to do great here. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it is possible. I think it can
Really?
still hit $1 billion. Because
Really?
remember,
Wow.
there's a lot of other international markets, right?
Sure.
So none of which come anywhere close to China.
Yeah.
But there are still a lot of other international markets. What has been, let me pull this information up here quick as I go over to Box Office Mojo. I'm just trying to find out
You know what, John?
what has been the number one box
I
office.
take it back.
movie.
Yeah,
Take it back?
I'm with you now because I remember when Endgame was coming out, right? And that was a huge movie at the time. And
Yeah.
China was all in on that. And Endgame didn't make $1 billion. So, I mean, even with China. So, I think it has a chance of making
it has
$1 billion
a chance, but
without China.
Here's the thing. So the number one domestic movie this year so far, the number one movie domestically this year is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Domestically, it made $224 million. Spider-Man No Way Home is going to have to triple that. Like triple that in order to have a chance at getting $1 billion worldwide. Because I think worldwide, a lot of other countries are having a rougher time than we are here right now. But I think domestically, you're looking at Spider-Man No Way Home needing to make in the neighborhood of $700 million domestically.
It just needs to be good then.
It will need to
For
be
people
good
to want to rewatch it over and over.
over and over. But more than that, don't forget, we had that report that we talked about a few weeks ago from Variety saying as of right now, about 49% of regular moviegoers prior to the pandemic still haven't started going back to the movie theaters yet. So not only does it have to get a lot of people going back for repeat business, it's got to get a lot of people who haven't gone back to the movies yet to come out of the houses and go, which I think this movie will do.
The buzz.
The
It's gonna
buzz got to be
depend on
there.
the buzz.
And whatever it does, again, I would love to see some form of calculation and projection of had the world not gone through what we're going through right now, how it would do. You know, without the pandemic, without people. Because think about it. When was the last time we were really afraid to go to a movie theater and be able to go home and go, am I going to get my grandma sick? Am I going to put someone in the hospital because I went to a movie theater? Like just that issue in our world right now. Like I feel for all of these films that are suffering.
I should point out, in talking about $1 billion, there was a film not too long ago that did not play in China, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but did not play in China and did hit $1 billion, and that was Joker. I believe Joker didn't get a Chinese release, and it made $1 billion worldwide. Then you got a pro and con. Spider-Man is bigger than Joker. Joker didn't have a pandemic era it was dealing with. So, I mean, I don't know, but I just want to point out that there has been, not many, but there has been movies that have made $1 billion without playing in China.
I think Joker also reached a different audience, too.
It did. Yeah.
The scope of it, in terms of the type of people that wanted to watch it, went beyond comic book.
Absolutely.
And that's what it had for it, too. So, you know, if Spider-Man can't do that, then I don't know. It might not reach $1 billion.
So, but I'll tell you. So I think $1 billion is a possibility, but I honestly I think that 1.5 is off the board. Sadly, but I think 1.5 is off the board. I don't. So, and there was I remember there were some people in our laugh chat going, "I'm telling you, John, it's gonna make $3 billion." Like, really? You think it's gonna make more than Endgame? Okay,
Guys,
God
no,
bless.
it's not.
Also, I would like to apologize. I think I did my first YouTube flip-flop on this topic. I just went from it will make $1 billion to it won't. It will and it won't. So
Flip flopper.
But
I caught myself. Hey,
but you did so taking into consideration a new set of information.
Right.
That's what intelligent people do. Intelligent people change their minds when new information is given
Based
to them.
on information,
So,
yeah.
but honestly, I think $2 billion is forget $2 billion.
No.
A lot of people were talking that $2 billion was a possibility. I think I even thought I didn't think it was get to $2 billion, but I thought $2 billion was possible. Forget that. I don't even think 1.5 is possible now.
And can we
I
just
hope I'm
talk
wrong.
about how disappointing it is for the people? Because I'm thinking about
our
like we're
film-loving
talking
brothers and
numbers
sisters in
and
China?
that's so important. But for people who are in China, who have loved Spider-Man, who used to read the comics years and years ago and have seen Sam Raimi's version and their excitement and their hope can you imagine being a fan and finding out that your country will not let you see it?
Yeah, and this isn't the first one, but yeah, for our
I mean,
film
no,
lovers,
it's
brothers
not
and
the
sisters
first
over
one.
there,
I know
but-
it's not the first one, but just this particular movie, I'm thinking about my excitement, and I'm thinking about
Yeah.
how someone across the world is not going to be able to experience that.
Yeah.
Man,
We'll see.
that's
Anyway,
heavy.
the question is for you guys. What do you think about this? With it looking like that China is not going to play Spider-Man No Way Home, how do you think that's going to affect ultimately how this movie does overall? And how this movie does overall is going to have a trickle-down effect on other smaller movies that could or may now not ever get made or financed. How big do you think the ceiling is now? Maybe you thought 2 billion was within reach. Do you still think it is? Am I right or am I wrong? Do you think I'm right or wrong about the whole idea that I don't think 1.5 billion is a possibility now? I hope I'm wrong. I would love to see this thing make all the money in the world. Whatever you guys think, jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys. With all that down, let's now move on and start taking your questions, shall we? Now, here's how you get a question to be read on the John Campea Show. Simply go down into the description of this video and you'll see a tip link. Click on that or enter it in manually at www.streamelements.com/movieblogtv/tip. Once you guys click on that, you're going to be able to submit a question, and then you will get that question read on this show or an upcoming companion video if we deem your question appropriate to be read on one of our shows. And of course, more importantly, you'll be supporting our channel as you do it. And all of us involved here at the John Campea Show, thank you guys very much for your support. Now, I'm going to let you guys know, too, before we get started, I am probably going to end the show a little bit early because I've got to run out because I'm picking up a new car today.
Oh.
I bought a new car.
Check you out.
Part of the reason I was able to buy my new car is because I found out my car, because of the chip shortage, car values, even used cars values, are going up. A car I bought, my beloved Toyota CHR. I bought a car 2 years ago for $18,000. I was able to sell it to a dealership last week for $25,000.
What kind of multiverse mess is that?
Made money
What?
on selling my used car.
And we even took out the engine, and they bought it without the engine.
And of course,
Are you
Ray is being
serious?
facetious.
Oh,
So I decided to take that money and I rolled. You guys know I got Ann a Tesla a while ago. I am in love with Ann's Tesla. So in love with it that I decided to get one for myself.
oh my God.
So I sold my car. I'm going to take all that money and put it into getting a new. So I go to pick up my Tesla today, which I'm very, very
Nice.
excited. Yeah, I just fell in love with Ann's car. So I'm going to go and do that. By the way, I wanted to share one other thing with you guys. Let me bring it up here right now. So you guys know our very own Aaron Cummings. I always have Ann on the brain. Our very own Aaron Cummings, who right now can be seen in the Will Smith movie King Richard. You haven't seen her for a bit, and you won't see her for a little bit here. She'll be back. Don't worry, she'll be back. But her and her husband, Tom, had a baby. And they had their baby last week. So 2 nights ago, Ann and I went out to Aaron's place, and we got to meet little baby
Look at
Degnan.
the
Yeah, so Aaron and her husband, Tom Degnan, had their son, little baby Degnan. I don't think they've publicly made it aware what the baby's name is, so I'll wait for Aaron to come on and tell everybody what the baby's name is. Yeah. But I got to go over and spend some quality time with baby Degnan, and I am his favorite. You could just tell instantly the way
Yeah.
that
He loves you
kid looked
3000.
at
Hasn't met
me.
me yet.
That kid looked at me and was just like, "You're my favorite human being." I'm like, "That's right, kid, I am."
Did you sneak a Star Wars toy into his little
Oh
tiny
no, that's
fist?
coming up soon though.
He hasn't met the brown guy yet.
I'm gonna be slipping in the Star Wars stuff on there. Here's a little lightsaber. Like I'll just be whispering in his ear, Luke, the Force.
This
Just
is
whenever
the way,
I'm
baby.
babysitting
I'll be
the way.
Captain Picard.
the kids. So
Picard.
yeah. So
I love that age. Did you smell his head?
oh, he's
I love
so
smelling the
soft.
heads of babies at that age. Just the smell of you. Just the
He's
smell
so
of you.
he's so little and so
so
soft
tiny.
and so adorable, and he's just awesome. So yes,
Yummy.
Aaron and Tom have welcomed their baby, and it is little baby Degnan, is the name forthcoming. And congratulations to Aaron and Tom, and we love them both, and can't wait to have them back on the show. All right, Now, guys, with all that down, let's get on over and start taking your questions, shall we? All right, Kim, what do we got lined up in the questions?
All right, first, this is coming from Mark Netto. Hey, John and company. Now that most predictions are locked and loaded for Spider-Man No Way Home and the tickets are bought, what are your predictions and big surprises on the Batman Batwatch 2022?
Oh, Batwatch.
Yeah, Batwatch 2021. Look, I'll tell you, it's going to be different for Batman. Batman is not, and I don't mean this like I'm talking trash on Spider-Man No Way Home. You know how excited I am about that movie. But Batman ain't going to rely on cheap novelty cameo pop. That's not what Batman's going to be relying on. Batman's going to be relying on just making a great motion picture, period. You've got, Matt Reeves in there, terrific director. You got world-class performers in there. They're just going to make a solid, gritty crime action movie. That's what they're going to do with Batman. They ain't going to need to resort to cheap fan service pops and blah, blah, blah. Again, Marvel does it great, and it's fun, and I cannot wait to see Spider-Man No Way Home. I ain't trash talking Spider-Man No Way Home. But that's not what Batman is. So we're not going to have, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're going to do a Batman pregame show. Before the Batman comes out, we will do a Batman pregame. But, I mean, I don't think there's going to be big surprises. I don't think those are coming from Batman. I don't think Batman needs it. And I'm really, really excited about it. All right, what's next?
Mix Maxter says, hey gang, been a fan since AMC. Question, with everyone obsessed with Toby, Andrew, and Charlie being in No Way Home, what's your thoughts on the rumor about Michael J. Fox's cameo as Uncle Ben in a flashback scene?
Consider I've never even heard, it's probably a bullshit rumor, so nothing to even give a thought on, to be honest with you. All right, what's next?
Love Michael J. Fox. Anonymous
Canadian
says,
kid.
Anonymous says, hi, John and crew. So this time, no question, only a little request for John.
Oh.
I was wondering if you would ever show us a picture of young, early 20s John Campea. For some reason, I cannot imagine you at that age.
All right, I'll tell you what. Let me see.
It's like The Rock. He's got a fanny
I've
pack
at
and a
least seen
jerry
that.
curl.
Let me see if
I've
I
at least seen that.
I don't know that I'm going to be able to find it. Give me one quick second here. Let me see if I can pull it up.
John,
I
just
will
tell me
show
this.
you- Yes.
Did you rock a mullet? Was it business in the front and party in the back, my friend?
Let me see if I can find this
He was
picture
like-
for you. Give me a second. I am
Hey, man, you gotta
looking.
appreciate the times.
I'm trying to see, because I know there's this one picture. I'm trying to see if I can find it to grace you all with it.
Yes.
But
Acid wash pants.
I'm having trouble finding it.
And I think I've seen this picture. It's great.
Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's the album cover.
Yeah, the album cover.
Yep.
Didn't you have
Oh, I found it.
Oh my
short
God.
sleeveless, right? Sleeveless shirt or something like that? Let's see.
Here. Let me see if I can bring it up on
Oh
screen
my
here.
gosh.
Okay, here it comes.
Here
Ready
we
for it?
go.
Are you ready? I don't know if the world is ready.
Watch.
Here it
Watch
is.
the subscriber count. There
Subscriber
we
count
go.
going up.
Oh my.
That's from the album cover.
You look like my ass.
That's the album cover.
Oh my God.
Me and Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Me and Matt Damon were in a band together.
Oh wow.
Um,
that is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
my God.
that was literally from our little album cover. That was in my band days. That and no, just in case anybody takes me seriously, that is not Matt Damon. That was my buddy Garnet. An incredible bass player, Garnet. Now he's got like Garnet now. Like, where is the band these days? John's doing YouTube in his garage. Garnet, meanwhile, Garnet has like 2 PhDs.
Oh my God.
And is like a tenured professor at like a couple of universities.
That is Mr. Double Booker right there.
Meanwhile, Campea
Right there. Now I see why. Let's go.
Campea's in his garage doing YouTube's videos, and Garnet's got like 2 PhDs.
You guys-
Yeah, that's the
Wow.
old album cover.
You know what? A real
Your
man.
curly hair?
Yeah.
Oh, listen.
Like the hair. I didn't know you had such curly
Listen,
hair, dude.
first of all, this is early. I later had like hair down to here, and my hair is so curly that what I would do in the mornings is I would get up, and my little sister Heather, I would put a towel on the kitchen counter, flop my hair on it,
You
and
did not.
Heather would iron my hair to try to keep it straight. Yeah,
Oh, honey,
So
that's
then I
called
would-
a flat iron.
Then I would pull it into a ponytail, and that's
That is
how I rocked it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. What are those guys that sang only words? Only words.
I don't know.
You know the 90s duo?
Well, do I know the 90s?
No,
yes,
that
familiar with the
90s duo. More than words. More than words.
Oh, that was a band.
You have to
That was
Face No
Extreme.
More. Oh.
That's the
That's
picture
the
I
band
have in my
Extreme.
head of you.
Do you know the guy from Extreme for a short time then was the lead singer of Van Halen? The guy
Really?
after the Sammy Hagar era. I mean, Mark Ellis is better to answer this question.
I didn't
Yeah,
know
but
that.
after that, this lead singer from Extreme for a short time was the lead singer. But anyway, there's a reason that guitar is over in my corner. Because I'm a rock star.
I'm telling you, we still haven't made the wages of our bet, and now I'm getting some more ideas. I'm thinking I want to more than words acoustic version from you if we lose this bet. So
Oh, all right. Okay, hold on a second.
Well, you got it. Merry Christmas, y'all.
Merry Christmas.
To whoever wrote in that question, Merry Christmas.
All right, what's next?
Gnome says, "Hi, John. Here in Israel, the tickets for No Way Home started to sale on Tuesday, and all of the ticket sites crashed. The tickets for the weekend sold out like crazy. Even in Endgame, that did not happen here. Luckily, I got 4 tickets for the 15th. The hype is real."
Yes, it is. The hype is real.
Oh my God. Okay, now I don't like the person who sent in that question.
Yeah.
This guy is a rock star.
And I love you. The words I want to hear from you.
Like Nickelback now.
Like both of you.
I don't even think the mic can pick up my guitar playing.
Like
My
Nickelback.
my guitar's out of tune right now. I haven't tuned.
That
it.
actually sounded pretty good.
Let me just. Put
Okay,
this
for the bet, I want a curly long wig. I want you in the acid wash jeans with the belt, the white
I
t-shirt,
had the
and I want a
acid wash
song.
jeans. I had the acid
I
wash
want a
jeans.
song.
Now I have to bring it up again. The double booking makes total sense now. Makes total sense now. You play guitar, you had the hair, you had the pose.
How could they resist?
Man.
Oh, you know what? When really worked the ladies, it wasn't the guitar, it was the piano.
Oh, so you're
When I
gonna
pulled
drag
out
a
the-
grand piano in there
When I
right now?
pulled out my keyboard, I had the big Korg. I pulled
This
out the
guy.
keyboard and I'd start playing like this
guy had game before game.
something on the piano. I played Richard Marx on the piano. It's like,
Oh my god.
oh my God, I thought I was so cool.
No,
I thought I was so cool.
No, I don't want to play cops and robbers. Let's learn piano. It'll help us later.
Oh my god, I
All
love
right.
it.
Oh,
love
sorry. So, no, I'm asking a question about the
What a
Tuesday
great
tickets.
start
and
to the
they didn't have it
question.
looking up for it. Well, hey, listen, the important thing here, Gnome, is that you got your tickets for SpiderMan No Way Home, and I played guitar. Those are the 2 important things of the time.
Let me just add, I think you
love
just
it.
opened up Pandora's box right now. Wait for more questions to come in to see all of John's talents.
I'll tell you what.
He can
I'll tell
tap.
you what. This might be a little bit uncomfortable for you, Ray.
No,
But I will tell you the
no,
moment.
you're not telling me nothing
just
right now.
stripped. He was a
Okay, this
stripper.
isn't enough. I can tell you the moment your sister fell in love with me.
Oh.
We were great. Our dating was great and all that kind of stuff. But she'd always wanted me to play guitar for her. I'm like, nah. So one day she came over and I had wrote a song for her. And I played a song
Oh
for
wow,
her.
I never knew that.
Yep, I played
You
a song
wrote
for
a
her.
song
I wrote a
for
song
her?
And
for
at
her.
that time, I bet you my dad still wanted to beat your ass.
Your dad? Your dad?
My
for
dad,
the
okay,
longest
before
time.
meeting, my
Yes.
dad always hated my sisters, whoever. Like he would
She
hear
told
from
me
my
that.
he would
She
hear
told me she
he would hear
hated
from my
your
mom.
boyfriends.
He would hear from my mom. Oh yeah, she's dating, and my dad. The first thing he would say in Filipino was like, "What?" And then he would like think of everything of why it's not going to work out.
Do you remember how I won your dad over?
Yes, I do.
So true story.
And you really did win him over.
The way I won her dad over was I went to a Filipino bakery. The first couple times I went over to their house because we were already dating 3 or 4 months before I first went over to your house. There's a Portos.
Portos.
There's a bakery called Portos, and they
my
have these
God.
things called
There last week.
what's it called?
The cheese rolls.
The cheese rolls. It's a pastry with
Oh
this
my God,
creamy
now I want
cheese
one.
on the inside. Now I do too. It's like my dad loves cheese rolls, so I went to Portos. I bought a big box of cheese
Not
rolls.
one box.
No.
2 boxes.
A couple boxes, and I went over And like, I'm like, hey, I brought these over. And I swear to God, so that from that point on, every time I went to the house,
Oh my God.
I first stopped at Porto's, got a box of cheese rolls, and brought them over. And I remember the first words Anne's dad, because your dad didn't speak great English. He
No,
wasn't able to
no,
speak
no.
English great, right?
He did when he had to.
When he had to. So I remember I think the first word he said to me was, I showed up at the house this one time, but the cheese rolls were in the car. And I came in and I said, hi. He looked at me and kind of looked around and said, cheese rolls?
That is so
like,
cute.
Got it.
Oh my God.
Cheese rolls.
That's
And
so
can I say,
cute.
at our wedding, your dad looked like a freaking mob boss. He was like, he was in a suit, he had the shades
He was
on,
still ready to
sitting
kill you.
there.
Half of him was still ready to kill you,
He came
probably.
clean.
But do you remember the first time we met?
Didn't we meet in Vegas?
Oh, it was at the house. You came over with Soul, and we watched the Manny Pacquiao Oscar De La Hoya fight.
That's right.
And you were standing
there.
there telling me how you like MMA.
More than you hate, because Ray's a boxing guy. Ray's totally a boxing guy.
Right. But that was the fight we first met.
That's
and
right.
I was like, this is not how I imagined this guy. But, you know, if Ann likes him, then I'm good.
So it was funny because I said Vegas because I think the first time I read, like, you know, our extended family is like Ryan, Tommy, and
Right.
Kevin. So the first time I met Ryan, Tommy, and Kevin was in Vegas. We had taken a Vegas trip, and I got on their good side because we went to one of the big nightclubs, and I bought a private table. So I think I got in with Kevin, Tommy, and Ryan right there.
Right,
I
right.
bought the table the first time out. But anyway, sorry, we're totally getting sidetracked here from
Hey,
the
man.
questions. So let's get back
When
to
you
the
talk
questions,
about
shall we?
family, that happened.
Yeah, it happened. All right, what's next?
Elle's big sister says, "Hey, John and crew. So Strange Things finally gave us
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things, sorry. So Stranger Things finally gave us a release date, but it's pretty ambiguous in the sense that it just says summer of 2022. Is there any chance this could be end of May? I only ask because I saw someone say the industry considers end of May as one. I don't see another part.
Yeah.
As one to the end of May as a kickoff to summer. Is there any chance they could be releasing it end of May and still consider it summer 2022?
Here's the thing. The movie industry used to consider June as the start of the summer movie season. Pretty soon, they had movies coming out in May and calling it the summer movie season. Hell, we've even had movies come out at the end of April and people calling it the beginning of the summer movie season. Movies are a little bit different than TV shows. If Netflix is saying summer, I don't think it'll be May. It could be, though. I mean, it is possible. I'm thinking we're probably looking at June, July. That's my guess at that right there. All right, what's next?
All for feck's sake says,
I love that.
"Hi, John and crew. Got up this morning, put on YouTube, saw the photo spoilers of Hawkeye on my front page. Urgh. Not saw it yet as I am up early for work. I am watching it later with a glass of wine. It's going to be much worse when No Way Home is out."
I'll be honest with you, for feck's sake. By the way, that's a great.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know what you could have possibly saw that was a spoiler. I mean, the only thing that you could have possibly saw was Yelena, but we all knew Yelena was coming into the show. It was just a matter about which episode would it be. I honestly can't think of anything else in that. Like, what could have possibly been in that episode that could possibly be considered a spoiler? And if it was that, I would say, man, I wouldn't sweat that. I mean, that was something everybody knew Yelena was coming onto the show. 3 episodes were down, so we knew it was going to be any minute now. So I don't know that I would count that one as a spoiler. But now we have seen lots of times where, like, before a movie even comes out, like some of the critics have been able to see it, and then they're putting things in their thumbnails before the movie even opens up. I mean, but for this, I don't know if I would worry about that one. For facts, again, that name is so great. I don't know that I would worry about that one. All right, what's next?
James Hall says, "If the Sony/Disney partnership continues past No Way Home, what are the chances that we may see co-mingling of other characters besides Peter Parker? For example, damn it, Blade popping up in a post-credit scene in Morbius, under 25%.
I'll take under 25%, but not largely under 25%. Yeah, look, if Sony and Marvel extend their deal, which I don't know if they are, but if they do, then I don't see why they wouldn't take advantage of that and start to commingle some other characters as well. Whether it's a Kraven the Hunter, or whether it's a Spider-Gwen, or whether it's who am I trying to think of right now? Black Cat, or whether it's whatever. I mean, yeah, that could totally be on the table. Absolutely could be a possibility. All right, what's next?
This is coming from Derek W. Hey, John, big fan. I have a pretty good fan theory for Spider-Man No Way Home. At the end of Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man 2099 was gathering Spider-Man. What if he appears in a mid-post-credit scene to recruit the 3 Spider-Men at the end of No Way Home?
Zero chance. No, I don't see. Now we're just getting way too wacky and way too convoluted. You got to maintain some kind of sense here. And again, I really do believe. Now, I've got nobody from Sony telling me this. It could totally be something different. I never thought Aquaman would make $800 million. But I really do believe that Sony is very happy with their Into the Spider-Verse world they've got going on, with everything they have going on there. I don't think you're going to be seeing them crossing the animation over with the live action. So I doubt it. Again, it ain't impossible. It's certainly not. I just don't think we will. All right, what's next?
Boris brings us to, hi, John. I wrote in recently about Seth Rogen's yearbook, and with all this talk about Amy Pascal, I kept thinking about it. He mentions a lot of his interactions with her. He talks a lot and very humbly about his movie career, wins and losses. He mentions many times their movies got changed as it was the only way it was getting made by the studio. Way more than I expected. The interview, Green Hornet, like Wildly Different, and more. He's always so polite and understanding when he talks about, actually 3 of 3, understanding about the changes they had to make. He understood it's how the business works. It's cool to see that being the nice guy and paying his dues without kicking up a fuss has allowed him and his best friend to have awesome opportunistic careers.
One of the great things about Seth is that whenever you read a lot of this stuff, I've only ever met Seth maybe twice. I think I've only ever met Seth twice. But whenever you read stuff about him, like, he is one of those creators in Hollywood that truly does understand how the system works and how it needs to work. You don't just get unfettered money thrown at you. You're a filmmaker? Here, take all my money and go make whatever movie you want, and you don't have to answer to me at all. Like, he knows that's not the way it works, and he knows that's not the way it should work. You know, Peter Jackson talks a lot about how New Line and Warner Brothers gave him a lot of notes about Lord of the Rings. But Peter Jackson will always talk about how great that partnership was. That he believes that partnership is what made Lord of the Rings so great. Now, a lot of film fans, I think, naively believe, just give the director all the power he wants. That rarely works out well. Just ask about 4 of M. Night Shyamalan's movies, how that works out. I mean, that rarely works out well. It usually works out best when you have somebody like a Peter Jackson who knows how to work with the studios. He respects the studio's experience, but the studio also respects the filmmaker and gives them as much leeway as they can. So it really becomes a healthy partnership. And when it's not, and you have a situation like the prequels where George Lucas literally had to answer to nobody, well, you get the prequels, right? So, I mean, and Seth Rogen is one of these guys who totally gets that. He understands that, oh yeah, if they just let me do everything I want to do, that movie's not going to make any money. And, oh, this one was more successful because we did this. But also, if you're a filmmaker, you want to work with studios that do know how to give you a lot of maneuverability to do what you do as a creator. So it's about finding that fine balance. Now, every once in a while, you get a Christopher Nolan, a guy, or Steven Spielberg, who are so powerful and so good at what they do that they will get that kind of autonomy. But they've earned it, those guys. So yeah, Seth Rogen's always had a really good head on his shoulders for that. All right, what's next?
Guy Fox JLT says, hi, John. MJF mentioned Bret Hart Canadian crowd reaction a few days ago. I want to ask you, as a Canadian, are he Bret Canadian hero?
First of all, I have no idea what MJF is.
AEW, MJF, probably my favorite wrestler right now.
Really? I haven't watched a lot of AEW.
Yeah, he's the guy that was feuding with Cody Rhodes for a little bit, and you talked about his neck tat. Remember, he walks around with that big bodyguard.
Oh,
Warlow.
Yes.
He's the one that wears the scarf.
Like the super arrogant
guy. He plays it really well. So yeah.
Okay, what did he say about Bret Hart? Bret Hart.
He said he mentioned
Bret Hart.
A crowd reaction a few days ago.
Well, look, Bret Hart.
Is he a Canadian hero?
Well,
I think is what he's asking.
Yes. Bret Hart is a Canadian hero. He's the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. He is the excellence of execution. He is the former Intercontinental, multiple tag team, and multiple-time heavyweight champion of the WWE. He is Bret the Hitman Hart. He comes from the long line of the most celebrated family in wrestling history. All due respect to the Rhodes family. All due respect for the, what was Kerry?
The Von Erichs.
The Von Erichs. All due respect to the Von Erichs, but the Harts is the most iconic name in wrestling history. Best there is, best there was, best there ever will be. All right, what's next?
Anonymous says, hey, John, in one of the latest TV spots for No Way Home, when Ned says, I can't believe I'm in the Sanctorum, why do you think Doctor Strange says, I can't believe I am too? Maybe it's Mephisto.
Oh, God.
Or maybe it was destroyed and then the multiverse brought it back. Thoughts?
I don't care. Honestly, the big answer is I don't care why he says that there, because I know I'll find out. It's not important for me to know the answer to that right now. We'll find out in context. I clearly don't think it's an important line. I think it's a circumstantial line. I think it's a context line. And without other context, I have no idea what brings it on. But clearly this is something that happens early in the film. It's a context setter. So I honestly don't think it's a big deal. All right, what's next?
All right, Fusili Boys says, it's unfortunate Don't Look Up is receiving unfavorable reviews. I had high hopes for it since DiCaprio passed on Licorice Pizza and Nightmare Alley for it. And Licorice Pizza is a fantastic film, while Alley is receiving great reviews.
Yeah, first of all, I am very excited to see Nightmare Alley.
I really am too.
Yeah. I got invited to an early screening of it that I had to pass up, unfortunately. But yeah, right now, Don't Look Up, which is a movie I was psychotically excited for. One of the best casts. I don't think it's hyperbole to say one of the best casts maybe in film history. It's only got a 55% right now on Rotten Tomatoes, which means the majority of the critics like it, a small majority nonetheless, but a majority of the critics like it, and that's great. But it is sort of, but yeah, I'll tell you what, I am very, very stoked. I'm not all that excited for Licorice Pizza.
You're not?
I am hearing it might be the best movie of the year.
Oh, wow.
So great. And I'm certainly going to go to it and check it out. I thought the trailers were dull as hell.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. The trailers are dull. There's nothing about those trailers. If you didn't know the name of the director of that movie wouldn't excite anybody. Those are dull
yes,
trailers.
It would. Yes, it would. I was extremely excited for that trailer. I got chills. It made me think about falling in love for the first time. I loved it. I disagree, John. Doggone it. I was so excited. I am so excited. The trailer was wonderful. That song was great. Disagree.
I preferred the Sonic 2 trailer.
There was a trailer?
But,
God.
What movie is it?
You preferred the Sonic 2 trailer.
Yes. But I am hearing this could be the best film of the year. So
which is good news.
That has nothing to do with how good I think the movie is going to be. Obviously, the movie's probably going to be absolutely brilliant.
Trailer was great.
But I am actually even more excited for Nightmare Alley. That has got me. I mean, obviously you got Guillermo del Toro involved.
Yeah.
So like you got me. You got me. All right, what's next?
Michael Lawyer says, hey, John, I just wanted to thank you for taking a pic with my wife at LA Comic-Con. She meets a lot of celebrities when she volunteers to work at various cons. But when she heard your voice, she said she got to take a pic. Taken by Anne too.
Oh, I remember
when I got the pic, I was so jealous, and I literally did a spit take when you talked about it on your show. We both watch you regularly and feel your post SpiderMan No Way Home show will be as iconic as your and Anne's Mandalorian season 2 show. We got our tickets during Ticket Watch.
That's awesome. I remember this. By the way, Michael sent in like a $15 and a $20 tip saying that. And thank you, Mike. I still remember I was telling the story on the show the other day when me, Ann, and Ray went to LA Comic-Con. I went to one of the booths, like the professional booths, and I asked, hey, which of the 15 lines is the line for, I think it was for
Wong.
Benedict Wong? I think it was Benedict
Wong.
Wong's line. Yeah. Which is the line for Benedict Wong? I had my mask on, and she says, oh, it's line 3. Great. And so we went and get a line for our Benedict Wong picture. And then about 2 minutes later, this lady comes running back over, like across the convention floor. And she's like, I have to ask, are you John Campea? I'm like, yes. And I'm thinking, well, she's with the convention. Maybe she's about to give me a free backstage pass to everything here.
You're like, you hold your hand out, yes, and?
And she's just like, My husband watches you all the time, like almost annoyedly. My husband watches you all the time. She goes, I thought that was your. I just know your voice because my husband watches you all the time. He would kill me if he didn't get a picture with you. Could I get a picture? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So I had to take a picture. And by the way, big thank you to everybody who came over to take pictures with us when we were there. That was a lot of fun. But that was so really cool. Just that she came running over, wanted it for her. So thanks, man, for writing that in. I appreciate that very much. And it was great meeting her. All right, what's next?
All right, Philip Corvelli says, hey, John and crew, I think I'm in the minority here, but I straight up did not like Shang-Chi. I thought the plot was paper thin, as were most of the characters. The only positive of it, for me personally, was that it was beautiful. So there's that.
What is it that Luke said? It's amazing how everything you just said is wrong.
Wow.
No, hey, listen, man, that is the beautiful thing. That is the beautiful thing about the movies, is that it's all subjective. We all encounter art and it hits us all in different ways. And we all have different experiences with it. And just because there's a movie that I saw that I had this wonderful, incredible experience with, I thought the plot was great. Are you kidding me? An ancient hidden village with an immortal warlord who goes on the search for it, finds it, falls so in love with the woman that it completely changes his heart and his life, and he's destroyed when she's taken from him, and the impact that had on him and his family as his kids grew up, estranged from their own father. What is paper thin about that? But
wow, that's what it was about.
that's what it's about. Like. But just because that was my experience with it doesn't mean that's going to be your experience with it. And hey, man, you watched it and it didn't click for you. There are a lot of movies that a lot of people love that don't click for me. That's the beautiful thing about the art. And that way we get to have these discussions. So, hey, that's totally cool. I mean, I wish you liked it, but you didn't. And that's totally cool. All right, what's next?
Blue Rock says, how do I avoid Spider-Man spoilers if my job requires me to be online and do research? Filters? Any advice?
No, I mean,
ouch. Sorry, bud.
In the words of Dr. Banner, you guys are screwed now. I mean, you're screwed. Yeah. I mean, look, you're just going to look. All I would say is this, is that you are going to come across the spoilers of the movie. But I would also tell you that that's okay. It's okay. Because I think while you're going to have surprises taken away, if finding out a couple of details about the movie ruins the movie for you, then the movie wasn't very good to start with. I'm not saying that should give people free license to go throw around, like once they've seen the movie that somebody else hasn't seen it and to telling them everything that happens in it. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying, look, if you have to be online those days before you see it when a lot of other people are seeing it, I could lie to you and say there's hope. There's not. You're going to be exposed to a lot of the information, maybe even some things none of us have ever talked about before. But I would also say it's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. I mean, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world. If the movie is good, it's still going to be good when you see it. So I would hold out to that. But yeah, I wish I had better news for you, Blue Rock, but I just don't see how you're going to be able to avoid it. I just don't. All right, what's next?
Josh Pollard says, you'll be glad to know that I'm currently making the playlist for this week's releases. I'm a manager at Regal, and I'm finally allowed to remove the stupid Matt Damon Crypto.com ad from every feature. Thank God.
Look, I'll say this. That ad is
so
excellently produced. It is, but the problem is it's so excellently produced that everybody who sees the ad thinks it's a trailer for a new movie. And then you find out it's for Crypto.com. By the way, a lot of people in LA not so happy with crypto right now because they just took away the naming of the iconic Staples Center. Mm-hmm. Everybody knows Staples Center, but really, who goes to Staples anymore? But yeah, I still go to Staples. I love office supplies. I don't know why. I totally love office supplies. But they've just renamed Staples Center to Crypto. What's it called, Ray? Crypto.com
I have no idea.
Stadium or Crypto.com thing. Everybody's going to call it the Crypt. Everybody's going to call it the Crypt. I mean,
oh no.
Crypto hates that. Crypto.com is going to hate that. And they're going to try to market the hell out of it, but everyone's just going to call it the Crypt. Oh, like, God. Ray, you and Ann are going to the Crypt tonight, right?
Yep.
What are you guys, you're going to go see SmackDown?
I apparently.
And, apparently. And Ray and Kaori got tickets to go to the Crypt tonight in Los Angeles to go see SmackDown. Which is cool. I was going to go. Did you know this? Did you know that I was going to go? Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
Do you know why I'm not going?
Why?
Because Kaori took the ticket that she told Ann she could invite me with and already invited you before Ann invited me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, you can go. I'll pick up your Tesla.
You are clearly the bigger wrestling fan than me. No, seriously, you go. This is gonna be. I'm really glad you're gonna be able to go to that. All right, I'm probably gonna intentionally go on a long drive somewhere tonight when I get my Tesla.
Nice.
I will tell you what. Autopilot has changed my life. Autopilot. I get on that road, I click the autopilot thing, and I'm like, oh yes, it's so great. So I will probably be spending my time going on some long drives tonight, I think. All right, what's next?
Oh, Danny Boy says, I have to agree with you completely about how movies can be great collective experiences. My stepdad growing up was a pretty terrible person to me and my brother, but I still remember him taking us to our first midnight showing ever, The Dark Knight.
Yeah, look, again, I was telling the story the other day. The beautiful thing about films, man, is that they're experiential events, but more importantly, they're shared experiences with the people we see them with. And then when we see memorable movies, we remember who we were with and those times. I still remember exactly who I was with when I saw Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring for the first time. I know exactly who I was with. And I was telling the story the other day, of course, but when, like, my best friend growing up, Brendan, died a few years ago. Yeah, Brendan and I had gotten on a bus, gone to downtown Hamilton to Lloyd D. Jackson Square, where they had a Famous Players movie theater, and we went to go see Michael Keaton's Batman. And now, whenever Batman comes up, or whenever I see Michael Keaton, I get to think of my friend Brendan. And on that level, movies are just amazing experience. Like every time I go to Canada, Ray, and I see a movie with my mom and dad, I always remember all those movies and being able to go with my family. So and it's just, I just love it. And that's one of the other reasons why movies are the greatest things in the world. All right, what's next?
Hoolie Hoop says, I'm confused. Please help me understand how Sony and Marvel make Spider-Man. I know Sony markets it, sells it, but who came up with the story? Who is checking in with who? Who is looking over whose shoulder? Who answers to who? How involved is Feige? Thanks.
All right, I'm going to oversimplify this, but maybe I'll give you a bit of a thing. Yes, Sony is the distributor. They take the movie and they sell it and market it and distribute it and market it, all the stuff that a distributor does. Marvel is the production company. They make the movie. So they're the ones coming up with the movie. They're the ones coming up the script. Everything has to be approved by Sony because it's still, as of right now, Spider-Man is still Sony's character. And so they let Marvel be the production company. They come up with it. They get the writing. They get the script. They make the movie. But all of it's got to be approved. It's all got to be approved. And then once it is approved, they go ahead and do their thing. Sony pretty much lets them do their thing. Then they make it. Then they hand it over to Sony. And then Sony takes it from there. They decide on what trailers are going to play. They decide on what this is going to happen and that's going to happen. They make all the decisions at that point. So that's an oversimplification, but that gives you a basic general idea. All right, what's next?
Silent Thriller says, in one iteration of the comics, Hawkeye's wife was Bobby Norse.
Yes.
Bobby Norse was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. Maybe they changed the story a bit for the MCU with Laura.
Look, I'm going to let you know something. Marvel always changes the comic story. It's always. The majority of stuff is always changed. That's why whenever somebody wants to bring up in the comics, I go, wait a minute, I'm going to stop you right there. It doesn't matter what was in the comics. They will take thematic ideas and some details, yes, but pretty much Kevin Feige will take whatever creative license he wants. And that's why 80% of the MCU is usually different from what it is in the comics. So it brings up interesting conversation fodder and interesting ideas about where they could be going by looking at what's in the comics. But I do think they're going to go in a different direction with his wife, but maybe take some thematic elements from that and apply it to her. So I think that could be on the table. All right, what's next?
Part-time Lover says, don't forget that Sharon Carter has a significant role to play. I don't think she's the boss per se, but definitely is in the background as some kind of puppet master.
No, she's not. Listen, Sharon Carter at the end of Falcon the Winter Soldier is doing a very specific thing with a very specific set of circumstances in a very specific circle and sphere of influence. Just because Sharon Carter's off doing that doesn't mean she's involved with street gangs in New York. So I honestly don't think, now look, Anything in the MCU is possible, but I really don't think Sharon Carter has anything to do with what's happening in Hawkeye. Do you think I'm wrong, King? Like, you're following Hawkeye. Do you think Sharon Carter's involved here?
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
No.
I don't think she's going to be involved.
There's too much, and we have 2 episodes left. There's no way we can just bring in Sharon Carter and be like, now let's tell her story, even though we're not nearly getting into the mom story in 2 episodes. Come on. No.
By the way, I cannot wait to see what they're doing with Sharon Carter. I think them doing a heel turn with Sharon Carter, I know a lot of people are upset, but like, I'm like, wait, no, time out. When you look at what happened to her after the last time we saw her, the years of abuse from a government that she served and sacrificed for, and she ended up losing her family, her home, her all that kind of stuff. What did Joker say? All it takes is one bad day. Sharon Carter had a lot of bad days. Mm-hmm. And if you don't think that that character could over time start to go, you know what? Time for me to start looking out for me. Time for me to start asking, what do I get? And it turning into that. And I honestly thought Sharon Carter's heel turn was fantastic. And I cannot wait to see what they do with her next. I really can't. All right, what's next?
Chloe Fanning says, the bottle cap scene where Kate flips it into the TV, turning it on, reminded me of the Karate Kid scene where Daniel caught the fly with the chopsticks, hearing Mr. Miyagi saying, beginner's luck.
That, you know what? I never thought of that,
That's
Chloe. That is a great example of that. You're absolutely right. That is very, very reminiscent of that. Well called out. All right, what's next?
By the way, Cobra Kai season 4. What? Run Boy Run Prod says, I can't stand Kate. She doesn't listen, and Clint should have dug her a new hole to let her understand the severity. The next 2 episodes have a lot to answer for.
I'll tell you what, every moment that I start to warm up to Kate, she then does something and I'm like that whole rooftop scene where he's like explaining to her, I am going in there. I need you to be here. And then she's just like, la, 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 la.
And then she comes back upstairs.
I mean, like literally while she was crossing the street, Clint should have put an arrow in her thigh. Like, just say, look, you're gonna F this all up completely. I'm just gonna do what I want to do. Blah, 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 blah. And then now we talked about this in the spoiler discussion, but you know, the show's been out for days now. But then here's Kate Bishop. What does her family do again? Remind me. What's her family do?
Security company.
Oh, a security company. That's neat. You would think that a woman her age, she walks into this apartment. It's like, oh, what are those blinking light devices in the corners of the wall? What could that be? Tell me again what your family does. You don't know what motion detectors are. You don't know what cameras are. I mean, I'm just like, how dumb does this character have to be? Yeah, I told you, Clint should have put an arrow in her thigh as she's crossing the street. All right, sorry. What's next?
An arrow in her thigh. That is so savage. Okay. Matt says, hey, John, I was wondering if they will go with the direction of not only if they forget Spider-Man, but forgot about Peter Parker as well. So not only is no one going to know he's Spider-Man, but no one knows Peter Parker either. What do you think?
I was just telling you guys before the show started. So you guys know that my general theory, and I look, and it's very possible this doesn't happen.
We were just talking about
but
this.
My general theory has been that Spider-Man at the end of either No Way Home or Doctor Strange 2 Multiverse of Madness, in one of these 2 films, he's leaving the MCU and going over to the Sonyverse. Now, then Kevin Feige said that Spider-Man's the one character with the power to go back and forth between cinematic universes. So while he goes back over to the Sonyverse, he'll probably pop back up in the MCU at some point too. But one of our viewers emailed me and said, John, you know, with your theory about Spider-Man leaving the MCU, you keep leaving out the most important piece of information. I'm like, what's that? And he's like, what is Doctor Strange trying to do for Peter? He's trying to make everybody forget he's Peter Parker. He's probably going to end up making everybody just forget Peter Parker and Spider-Man altogether. And then that solves your problem about, well, that's why Spider-Man's not in the MCU anymore. Because, you know, people would say, you can't have Spider-Man, one of the Avengers and everything like that, who helped fight the battle of Thanos and all that kind of stuff, suddenly disappear and nobody brings it up. Unless Doctor Strange casts a spell that makes everybody forget him. I just thought that, again, He may stay in the MCU, he may leave, whatever, but I just thought that was a very interesting thing to bring up. And that goes right to what you were just saying, Matthew. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of validity to what you said. All right, what's next?
Yikes. And the Dark Nerd sends in $20 tip. Thank you.
Thank you, Dark Nerd.
Hi, John. I've been a big fan for years and love your new friends, Kim and Ray.
Aw.
Like any good Marvel fan, I always stay after the movie to see the end credit scenes. I was curious, what are your top 3 post-credit scenes were? Thanks, and bring on the filthy.
I generally don't do top 3s or whatever, but let me think about what some of my favorites are. I mean, I loved the Shang-Chi Wong showing up post-credit scene is awesome. I love that post-credit. Wait, is that the post-credit scenes at the end of the movie? No, that's not. I mean, sorry, at the Sanctorum, when Wong brings them to the Sanctorum and stuff like that. That's a great post-credit scene. I love that post-credit scene. I'm trying to remember what the other ones are. Because here's the thing, for me, the post-credit scenes just blur in with the rest of the movie to me, and I'm trying to remember what the post-credit scenes were. Like the Black Widow post-credit scene with Valentina meeting Yelena, that's a pretty decent post-credit scene
cool
as well. I'm trying to remember, do you guys have any that you remember off the top of your head that are really good? I mean, obviously there's the very first one in Iron Man with Nick Fury showing up at Tony Stark's house. That was a really good one.
I did like when they showed Thor's hammer.
What was that
Remember,
one for?
Coulson drives up to the desert,
Right.
and they show Thor's hammer, and you're like, "Oh shit!" He's coming.
That was great because we hadn't met
The
Thor yet.
impact of that one shot. It's like,
Was that a post-credit scene for a Captain America movie?
I forgot what movie it was, but I really like the character of Thor, so I was like, he's coming. You know, he's gonna appear. So that's
yeah.
the only one I could remember where I got like goosebumps.
The Spider-Man one, Spider-Man Far From Home with J. Jonah Jameson popping up in there. That was a good. I mean, that wasn't as significant, but it was a huge pop in the theaters. That was big. I mean, obviously Venom 2s that just happened recently. I'm thinking more of the recent one. Again, it's just I can't even remember them all together because they just bleed in and become a part of the movie for me. All right, what's next?
J.R. Wheeler says, hi, gang. John, during the Hawkeye spoiler show, you talked about the amount of episodes. Hawkeye 6 versus Wanda's 9. I really think time is more important than episode count. All 9 WandaVision shows were close to 30 minutes, each like their sitcom counterparts.
Next.
Hold on. Hawkeye's 6 shows are closer to an hour each, so actually Hawkeye is a longer show.
The episodes of Hawkeye aren't that long. They're a little bit on average longer than WandaVision's were, but WandaVision has some longer ones too.
Yeah.
I think when it's all said and done, WandaVision is the longer show. But look, if you came out with 6 episodes and they're each an hour long, great. But again, like your standard Netflix or HBO, they're like 8 episodes. And it's standard that they're an hour long each. And Disney's not doing either of those. They're making it shorter than 8 episodes, and they're making the episodes rather short. So again, I'm left to wonder, why not just make it a movie? It would probably flow a lot better, especially in the case of Hawkeye. But
Yeah.
There it is what it is. All right, what's next?
Run Boy Run Prod says, I'll say this. This episode has shown how the MCU really missed out on the possible bigger and darker movie of Hawkeye and Black Widow. If they would have done a Ronin film, man, those movies would have changed how people looked at them as lesser characters.
Dark does not equal better. And I honestly don't think it would have made them look at them any differently. Showing him do something dark. Nah, I disagree. And again, I don't need more prequel stuff. We already know he had a dark time where he was Ronin, running around killing a lot of bad guys. We're moved past that. I don't need to go back and see that movie now. This is the movie I want to see. I want to see the story of these characters moving forward. I want to see where Clint is now. And I'll tell you what, the parts of this Hawkeye series that I have been really appreciating is all the stuff about Clint, how he's really just about his family, about he is a regular mortal guy whose body is showing the scars and the wears and tears of doing what he does, of carrying the emotional trauma of losing the people he loses and the things that he's had to experience. To me, this all day, every day is more interesting to me, but let's go watch Ronin stab more bad guys. Stabby, stabby. Okay. I don't know that makes it better. I don't think it does. Look, Kate Bishop has been hindering this show for me. Although I am warming up to her. I am warming up to her more and more. But everything about Clint in this show, I am just eating up. This is real storytelling to me. But that's just me, Run Boy Run. That's just my opinion on that. That's all. Thanks for sharing your thoughts, dude. All right, what's next?
All right, so Great Grabthar's Hammer says, so just a suggestion for a culinary punishment for Kim.
No more culinary punishments.
Oh my God, that our chef of pleasures can prepare peanut butter, and mayo on bread.
First of all, that is a gift. That's not a punishment.
From the gods.
That is a gift. You ever had the pleasure of the peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich?
I haven't had anyone hate me that much.
God.
That's what I used to make.
I have not had someone hate me that much.
It all came about as me being a kid who was one of these kids at my school was very, very close to my house. So at lunchtime, I'd walk back home.
Oh, fun.
And I didn't know how to cook. So I'm like, oh, there's bread. We got peanut butter. We got butter. And then there's mayonnaise. And I love mayonnaise. It's the jizz of the gods. So I would go I would pull out the bread, get a knife, and spread peanut butter, and mayonnaise. And I just remember as a kid, I'd eat that every day. Like I used to really like it. Maybe it's just because I made it that I thought it was so great. Now I haven't had it in a lot of years.
Peanut butter,
maybe
and
today
mayo.
I wouldn't think it's so great. I do love mayo. I don't know how mayo would go with peanut butter though. You know what?
Peanut butter, and mayo.
I think maybe next week I'm going to bring it all out in here. And on this show, I'm going to make a peanut butter and mayonnaise sandwich. I'm going to eat it. I haven't had it in at least 20 years. So I don't know. Maybe I won't like it anymore.
Maybe I'll bring the weirdest thing I think I eat too.
Oh, what is that?
I don't know yet. But I do combine a lot of weird sometimes.
You are a good cook though.
Yeah.
One of the things, if you were to ask me, John, what's something about Ray nobody really knows? Ray's a good cook. When he cooks, Ann and I get excited. Like when he's like,
when I was staying in Burbank,
Ray's cooking X. It's like, okay, let's go.
When I was staying at your old house every day, like I would have a dinner planned to
yeah.
make. I would go down to that little side corner shop, buy all the meat for the week, because I would stay at John's house for the week.
When we lived in Burbank, he would stay at our place.
Because I would take the Metrolink on Sunday or Monday morning and stay out there the rest of the week. It just saved money, from traveling back and forth. And so I would just buy all the meat from this little Armenian shop on the corner for the week.
Yep.
And I have these recipes planned out. And by the time I think Ann would get home too, the dinner was already on the table.
It's like having our what's the
personal
facts
chef?
of life? What's the facts of life, Mrs. Garrett?
Oh wow!
It's like having our own Mrs.
Come
Garrett.
on, I at least want to be Jeffrey.
Okay,
from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, Jeffries. We had our own Jeffries living in the house. It was and like every day that he was cooking dinner.
I love that.
It's like we would be excited. It's like because Ray can really cook. He really is Chef Pleasures.
Nice.
All right, we got time for one more. What's next?
Daniel Lyon says, hey, John and crew, this is a story. There is a question at the end. I was a kid in New York. Sorry, I thought he was rapping, and I was about to say, this is a story. There's a question
West
at the
Philadelphia,
end.
born and raised.
I was a kid in New York. My family was watching a movie in the living room. I told myself, all right, I'll watch it. It looked like a Christmas movie. It was not a Christmas movie. I had nightmares that whole entire night, dreaming of things trying to kill me. Realizing I watched 30 Days of Night with my family. That was not fun. So, question, what is a movie or TV show that traumatized you or while you were growing up?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy. First of all, again, 30 Days of Night was actually the first movie me and Ann watched together.
Oh, yeah, that's
That was
right.
so that movie. I remember I was interviewing the director of 30 Days of Night for another movie he had done later on. And I started off the interview. He says, by the way, I may have to owe you my marriage. I think my marriage is owed to you because your movie was the first movie my wife and I watched it on our date. 30 Days of Night is great. The movie to me, horror, I'm not a huge horror movie guy. Like I like a good horror movie as much as anybody.
Mm-hmm.
But horror movies don't generally scare me. There are a couple of exceptions. And one of the, I'm just going to see the live chat. You guys in the live chat who are watching, you guys, let me see if you guys know what movie I'm about to see. Because there is one movie that for me scared the hell out of me and absolutely traumatized me as a kid. And to this day, it holds power over me. And Hosea XCI got it. American Werewolf.
Really?
American Werewolf in London.
Someone said mine. Poltergeist.
Oh, yeah, Poltergeist.
And I never even saw the whole movie. I walked in on a scene and the person turns around with no mouth.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't go to sleep.
And you're like,
for
nope.
the rest of my life.
They're like, nope, no
Nope.
more.
Or it was like a zipper mouth, right? Something like that.
I can't
Was it
remember now.
or there was a blank mouth, something like that.
But American Werewolf in London, I saw it when I was a kid. And that movie, to this day, this is how much it traumatized me. As an adult man, I cannot watch it alone in the house with the lights off. If I because this movie's great. I love American Werewolf in London. But if I'm going to watch it alone in the house, I got to have the lights on. Don't know why.
What?
It's the only movie that's like that to me. There's really no other movie that scares me. American Werewolf in London scares me.
I'm interested to know Kim's.
Yeah, what is Kim's?
What is Kim's?
That's traumatized me.
Yeah.
No, earlier.
What
not
makes Kim
recently,
afraid
earlier,
of what
your
goes
first
bump in the
memory.
night?
Of what goes bump in the night. The Michael Jackson Thriller video.
Oh.
I remember watching it on the couch. We had this blue couch with little white flowers, and I would not get up. And my mom's like, "Get up, girl!" And I was like, something's gonna jump out of the floor because I remember the guy jumped out of the floor, and I was actually afraid of Michael Jackson for a while.
Really?
I was afraid of Michael Jackson for a little bit. Yes, yeah.
Because that zombie makeup he has on there at the end.
Yeah. I mean, it was a jam, but I remember my mom, I was like, it was one of those like, come here. And I was like, nope. And she was like, are you being disobedient? And I was like, no, something's going to come through the floor and I'm not going to come over there.
The floor is not hot lava. The floor is a monster pit.
The floor is
They're
a
trying to get me.
monster pit.
All right, guys, listen. There are more questions to come here from,
Brian
let's see, from who? From Brian Esparza, Colto, Angela Dashner, and others. Do not worry, guys. We've got the weekend here. I'm going to do 1 or 2 companion videos this weekend. We'll get all caught up. But for now, that'll do it for today's installment of the John Campea Show and the end of a week. Guys, congratulations for making it through to another end of the week. May you guys have a wonderful weekend ahead of you, filled with fun or relaxation, whatever it is you need, preparing you for another week of triumphant victory that lies ahead. I want to thank all you guys for joining us this week, especially all of you guys who sent in those questions. Number one, because you gave us great fun things to talk about. Number two, you supported this channel as you did it. And I want to thank, of course, Kimberly Curran for being here. Kimberly, where can people follow you?
Yeah, guys, you can find me on Instagram at WasGoodKimberly, and please be good to one another.
And, of course, Ray Aura.
Oh,
Ray,
big announcement.
Big announcement.
I opened up my Twitter again.
You did.
Yes, I actually
Ray's back on
downloaded the app.
Twitter.
I downloaded the app last night, and I have no idea what I'm doing on it.
What's your
But it's
Twitter?
a step. It's the same thing. Ray Aura with a 0.
So I just realized the lower third you made, Ray Aura _, that I've got there. That's not the right address for you, right?
That's not it.
All right, I need to get a new one for you. So it's just
Okay.
at Ray Aura, but the O
Is
is
a
a 0
0.
instead of an O. So there you go,
go.
guys. Go and follow Ray on Twitter
No,
at
don't.
Ray Aura, but
I'll follow
replace
you.
the O with a 0. And you guys can, of course, follow me on Instagram or on Twitter, simply right there at John Campea. And with that said, guys, that'll do it for this installment of the John Campea Show. Thanks a lot for being here, everybody. My name is John Campea, and until next week, my friends. Did I try to talk to